Premier League titles. But it looks like he's also, trying to shy away of the very fact that he has to put Chelsea in that picture of being Premier League contenders. But at the moment, do you think Liverpool are standout favourite to win the Premier League title outside the likes of City, the rest of other teams who are below par in terms of points and performance in the first 5 Premier League games of the season?
Well, when you played 5 matches and you've won all 3, trust me, you're definitely going to be a contender, a serious contender, because that momentum is going to be very difficult to drop, because now the players feel we are good enough. When they get to face anybody, they believe we can beat that team. The likes of Manchester City now, they've lost too many games. They've also drawn too many games. So right now, they might be doubting themselves. We all saw what happened against Manchester City. During the game, for the first time in a long while, we saw Pep Guardiola throw away his attacking system and had to pack the balls. That's what happens. That's what happens when you are not really winning games. You start doubting yourself. You start trying to change things. But now for Liverpool, all they have to do is hit second gear, because they're already doing so well at the moment. So Anslot, all he has to do is try to find the best out of the fringe players who are not really playing so well, because your first team is already delivering the goodies. So I feel Liverpool right now are going to be a very difficult team to stop at the moment.
A difficult team according to Infonity. Now, away from that, now we hear that Aston Villa, who is struggling still yet without a win in the Premier League this season. As a matter of fact, they scored their first Premier League goal in their last game. That was against Crystal Palace, but unfortunately couldn't win that particular game. We hear that Aston Villa chief Monchi is set to leave the Aston Villa side after a poor start to life in the Premier League this season. Well, we have matches in the Spanish La Liga later today, but Real Madrid, one of the standouts game expected, would take on Levante. Kylian Mbappe has been scoring goals for fun, and it may just be that particular conversation much later today to score once again. Real Madrid in action against Levante.
Well, I think for Real Madrid, they're also one of those sides in Europe at the moment who are doing quite well. We've seen what they've done in their league. I think they yet to lose any match in the league. They've won all the
fact they're top of the Spanish
exactly.
League
So it shows you that they are doing quite well at the moment. And I see it very difficult to stop them, especially Kylian Mbappe. The man is scoring goals for fun at the moment. Goes to the national team, scores as well. So at this point, it's Levante have a very uphill battle against Real Madrid.
A very tough battle to look forward to. Espanyol will take in Valencia at 6 p.m. Levante against PM Nigerian time, while Sevilla will take in the Yellow Submarines of Villarreal at 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time as well. Well, the English Carabao Cup also returns later today with fixtures across different centres expected. Lincoln will take in Chelsea. Liverpool will take in Southampton. We'll also have matches, particularly still talking about the English Carabao Cup, where Wrexham will take on Reading. Wolverhampton Wanderers would play against Everton, an old Premier League affair. But let's stick with Chelsea and Lincoln City. A time for Chelsea to revive the side after 2 back-to-back losses. First of all, against Bayern Munich in the UEFA Champions League and against Manchester United in the Premier League. Chelsea against Lincoln, time for redemption.
Definitely, I think if there's any chance for Chelsea to try to prove something, it's going to be against Lincoln at this moment, because Lincoln not a top side. So Chelsea now, I think if I was Enzo Maresca, I would not even rotate that side. Come on, beat them by at least 7 goals. Give confidence back to that side, because there's always something I keep saying. When you lose a game, it gets to affect the players. That's what always happens. I talked about it for Manchester United. Manchester United were not this bad at the start of the season. Look at the first game against Arsenal. But when they started losing, the players' mentality is affected. So now for Chelsea, lost against Bayern, lost against Manchester United. If they get to struggle against Lincoln, trust me, their struggle would continue even into the weekend.
Well, of course, we're looking forward to those matches scheduled for later tonight. Liverpool's Milos Kerkez has said thank you to the man Robertson for the guidance he had initially when he arrived at the football club. There were talks about Robertson, of course, making a switch to Atletico Madrid, but the man said, no, I want to stay and see off my contract. His contract expires at the end of this season. And Milos Kerkez is giving a warm thank you to the left back at Liverpool. Well, we take a very short break from here. When we return, we'll take a look at other sports stories before we bounce. Stay with us. Welcome back. It is still Sports Central, and I'm Mutube David. Fun is still right here with me. But let's look at all the, of course, non-football stories this fine morning. Well, we start off the conversation with the WTA games expected, and that would be the China Open. You could also call it the Beijing Open. We hear that hometown hero Zheng Qiwen will return after injury. Well, the ladies also part of the draw that was conducted yesterday, as we have, of course, games starting off later today. Well, for the top-seeded players, Alexa Iga Swiatek, they have been drawn by in the first round of the competition. So in the coming days, we'll take a look at where they will be playing and when exactly they will be having their matches. Well, as a matter of fact, Madison Keys and Arina Zabalenka have officially withdrawn from the China Open due to injuries to those players. So they won't be part of the WTA 1000, of course, event in China. But let's also look at other games. Alexander Bublik in the ATP category, the Hangzhou Open, is still currently up and running. But Bublik has actually reached the Hangzhou final, joining Carlos Alcaraz, Yannick Sinner, and Alexander Zverev on the list of players that are looking forward to, of course, make a statement at the Hangzhou Open. Well, the Chengdu Open is still currently up and running. Talk about the Asian swing where Lorenzo Musetti is set to take on Tabilo in the final of the Chengdu Open. We'll talk about it later tomorrow when we return. Well, let's quickly look at the world of cricket this morning before we call it a wrap. Tanzania defeated Nigeria in a warm-up World Cup qualifier game that was played yesterday. Well, unfortunately, the Nigerian side couldn't get victory in this particular qualifier. We hear they will also have another game that would be scheduled for later tomorrow against Zimbabwe, which will also be their last warm-up game ahead of the qualifiers. That's the T20 World Cup qualifier we're expected to start later on Friday. And that's the conversation. We look forward to the game later tomorrow, and thereafter on Friday, which the qualifiers will officially start. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. We draw the curtains here.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Well, we'll return tomorrow for more extensive conversation in the world of sport. Thank you very much for watching. Until we come your way later tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.